Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's a tour of my reloading room. First, let's start left to right here on the far near edge. Here, this is my RCBS bench primer, which is my favorite way to prime. I prefer no other way. I do have some extra hand primers, which I don't mind hand priming, but if you give me the option, I'm going to bench prime. Then next off, you're going to see an a Hornady concentricity tool, which I like. Tool's useful, and I do this to probably 90% of my rounds. Then nextly, Hornady powder measure, electronic powder measure. This has been really good to me. I know a lot of people complain about it, but I got a couple funnels, and the funnels have made a couple tips, and the tips have made a big difference. Beside that, you see my powder. I use H4895 and Vargit. It's my favorite two powders because they are less temperature sensitive. And of course, I got my cases, 308. That's my primary go-to rifle, and then some Hornady bullets. I think they're AMAXs. Might be wrong. Then beside that is my favorite press, which is my Lyman All-American 8. This is just easy to use. That's the primary reason. I can keep things set up and don't ever have to move. Then as you see, there's various other little handy tools here. Got my case lube. Then the smoothest press by far is my Mech Marksman. I love this press. It's a nice press. The only reason I don't use it quite as much is because of the convenience factor. It's just so convenient with that All-American 8. Then, as we go around the bench here, you're going to see my Mike's Reloading bench and kneeling machine, which is absolutely perfect. I love it. It's easy, works well. It's going to get a Neil Ease. They just didn't have it in, so I went with this one, and I like it. Next is my desk space. This is where I do a lot of my when I get on the computer and document everything. This is where I do that. As you see to the left of that is my wet tumbler. I use a Lyman Cyclone, which works great. And above that I have my resource books. I have Berger, Hornady, Lyman, Nosler, and then I have some Brian Litz. I have a Brian Litz book, which he's the man. He's my guy I take the most advice from. Then got my test for Saturday test. I do my graphs and everything like that, just like pretty much the rest of you guys do, and ladies. Then if you go to the left, to my right, you got my dry case tumbler, which that's what I've had from the get-go, and I still use it a lot because I don't always like to wet tumble. I don't like having to wait. I can tumble and then go. Then there's my bin for my wet tumbler. Then my case separator right there. My media separator. I love that Dillon. I don't have anything else Dillon except that, and I must say it is very nice. Then if you come over here, I got my bullets, my Berger bullets, my Nosler or my Hornady, and my torque wrench. Then you go to the right, you see I got Hornady powder throw, which has worked superbly. I don't like trickling, so I get that pretty much set on, and then occasionally test it with another skill, but that's usually that has been right on. Then you're going to see I have an RCBS Schwager, which that has worked. I was going to get the Dillon, but didn't want to spend the money, but this has been awesome. Much easier than on a press. I'll take it. Then you see down here I got IMR 4064, some H380, but the bulk of it is Vargit and H4895. And the reason I use them two powders the most is because they are much less temperature stable. I mean, they are much more temperature stable. I can use them across much more temperatures and don't have to worry about as big of a change. Now if we go over here, there's my drill set up. I want to make this a little better, but it's been working so far. I got a Gerard Tri-Ray cutter, which is absolutely fantastic. Easy and accurate. Then you look down there, I got a next shotgun shell, which is one of my next ventures as well. Oh, and I forgot to show you something. Then here's some of my bins with cases. They're both full. My tools, as you see there. As you see also there, tools in the back, screwdrivers and all that. But also, which I forgot to show you, and I'm sorry, is I got my lead, which I will get into casting, and that's something I want to get into. Then if you look up, you got Old Faithful there. I've trimmed much more cases with that so far. Then I have my Gerard, but it does take a lot more. I will say it's just as accurate, just does it a different way, but it works great. I have never had no complaints. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my reloading room. And here's from the other angle. This is my upstairs bonus room, which is my room. No one else comes up here when I'm up here. But ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. Signal Soldier out.